2006 arguably has the greatest horror movies in the last 20 years. From the very meta yet indie Leslie Vernon to one of my favorite childhood classics, I don't care if you consider this a horror or not, Monster House. And then we had one of the most innovative prequels in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning. This year has some bangers that I want to talk about. What up, y'all? Welcome back to Phantom of the Indie Review. That's right, I'm your host. All the boys love Ratty Row. And today on this episode, we lock it in. We are on the journey of 1 million subscribers. If you love horror, spooky shit, all that fun stuff, we spin the block this time of year because it's about to get spooky. Come hang out with me. So I've done my favorite horror movies of the decades in the past. We've done 2003, 4, and 5. As you see the reoccurring theme, every 20 years, we talk about my favorite movies. In this specific video, I'm going to talk about the #1 most underrated horror movie, and that one is going to be coming up. But before we get to that, let's talk about some bangers. The first one, garbage, B-tier, glorious murder and mayhem with some WWE influences. I know what you're thinking, See No Evil with Kane in it? Yes, that movie's fucking awesome, but no, we're talking about the other one that got swept under the rug, WrestleManiac. Did y'all ever see this movie? I got conned into buying it. The only reason I got it was because it said starring Rey Mysterio, and I was like, Rey Mysterio's in a horror movie? I didn't read the fine print. It was Rey Mysterio Sr., his father. That one, it's just in my nostalgia bank, dude. Like, it's not the best movie. Like I said, very low quality, some cheap kills. Typical slasher movie, but all around it was a fun time. This year also has my favorite horror movie of all time, the nostalgic one. I have a video of it already, was the not so, almost the cheaper version of Darkness Falls, The Tooth Fairy, that sci-fi original movie. I think it was a sci-fi original. It was on Sci-Fi a lot, where, they're building the bed and breakfast and the Tooth Fairy comes and wreaks havoc. We have Final Destination 3, probably the best. And the one that sticks the furthest in my mind in the Final Destination franchise, I'm afraid of fucking roller coasters now. Ask my girlfriend that every time we go to a theme park. She gets pissed off at me. And then one of the greatest remakes of all time in The Hills Have Eyes, Alexander Aja's masterpiece with that gritty, gut-wrenching intensity that a lot of movies of the early 2000s try to replicate and could never handle. So yeah, the reason I'm keeping it loose on a lot of these movies is because I have reviews for all of them. I'll put a list right there of all the ones I have reviews on. If you want one of Monster House, let me know. That'd be a fun one for Halloween. But in this specific video, we are talking about 2006's All the Boys Love Mandy Lane. This one subverts expectations very appropriately. It does have that classic 1970s horror styles that a lot of slashers go for from 2022's X. The one that started all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. A lot of people try to emulate that like old gritty farmhouse look while these teenagers go and party and get picked off one by one. But I really feel like this movie was very, I wouldn't say ahead of its time, but it does have a really great twist to it, and it's a very well-shot indie horror film. Along the lines, it kind of reminds me of, I think, 2009's The Loved Ones. That's a good one. Long before Amber Heard was canceled for shitting on Johnny Depp's bed, she was a budding star in the horror industry, and she was in a little film called All the Boys Love Mandy Lane. This movie starts off with a really gritty and unsettling scene where everyone's at the party, and right off the rip, we get the fact that everyone's down bad for Mandy. There's just something about her. All the boys are like, damn, she fine. That's the girl I want to be with. All the other girls are jealous. The jocks are going after her. The nerds are going after her. The outcasts are going after her, and she just wants to be left alone. She's like, I don't know why everyone fucks with me like this. The movie starts off with a tragedy when one of the jock boys is trying to impress her, and Mandy's childhood best friend, the weirdo Emmett, convinces man to jump off the roof into the pool, and he ends up tragically dying. And that's the thing, I guess, from this movie, we get the idea that Mandy had a glow up. I guess she used to be the ugly duckling, and all of a sudden one day everyone's like, damn, she's fine. After this tragic murder, cuts to the next year, and they're at cheerleading, and they're on the track and field, and this one stoner kid, he's like, dude, everyone wants Mandy Lane. Some people have died going after her, and I'm gonna be the one to get her. So this is where the premise is set up. She ends up getting invited to this old farmhouse with all these kids, all these young, rambunctious fuckers, and they're like, come on, just hang out with us. And all the boys want her bad. All the girls are like, fine, I guess she can come. And then this movie sets up the tone and the pace of a classic slasher. The reason this one stands out to me the most is the editing style, the filmography, editing, the music choices, the cutscenes and shots they decide to they decide to focus on, really embellish the fact that it is an indie horror. It kind of stands out with its own personality. Whoever wrote and directed this one kind of had their own eye and vision for it. They get to this farmhouse and there's a farmhand, and he's kind of there to supervise them. He's like, y'all do your thing. The sun comes down, and as they happen in slashers, they start to get picked off one by one, and you start to, feel for these characters a little bit. But the biggest thing is everyone is down bad for Mandy. All the boys want him. From the one jock who's like, I'm not like other boys. Can I kiss you though? To the stoner, to like the kind of like the fuck boy that just hooks up with every girl. They're all like desperately down bad for her. And the contrast that I like about this is that she doesn't like this, but there's nothing like outstanding about her. Like, she doesn't feel like she's that attractive. Like, all these guys are flocking to her, all the girls are jealous of her, and she's just like, I'm just being me. Like, she's not like that bad preppy girl, even though she's more attractive than all the other girls on the movie. She's very quiet and inward, and there is kind of like this radiating, borderline ominous, like, fascination about her. I get why all the characters attract to her, because she is quiet and reserved and kind of mysterious, but at the same time, it does do that balance of it's a teenage horror film. They're going to get drunk, they're going to party, they're going to be really turned up, and all these boys are just down bad for her. As this happens, a mysterious figure starts brutally killing people. We get our first 2 kills when it's finally revealed that the killer is her childhood friend Emmett, the one who made that jock jump off the roof. And his performance is great. He is haunting. He has an obsession with Mandy, and Mandy has no idea that all the friends are getting picked off because they keep leaving on their own accord. They're all doing drugs, partying, drinking. So by the time it's too late, by the time half the people are killed, that's when the real horrors intensify. There are some interesting kills in this movie and if they're not interesting, they are pretty bloody. There's this one where this dude gets his eyes like slit open. That's pretty visceral. The shotgun scene in the cabin, if you know, you know. And it just has a really dark and gritty and twisted feel to it. Like, even when these teenagers are getting attacked and brutally killed, like, you feel for them. The acting is very on par. And it is kind of, a little bit of a slow burn, where a lot of the time it is just filler. It is spending time building these characters. You're feeling for them. The ranch hand comes in more and kind of becomes like the protector of the group. All the girls are gawking over him, while the dudes are like, yeah, dude, we're fine without you. But this is where the movie accumulates until the ultimate twist ending. So finally, damn near everyone is picked off. It's just Mandy, the ranch hand, and one of the other girls left. And the ranch hand gets shot in the shoulder. He's like, go to my little cabin, get some shit. We're gonna get out of here. As Mandy goes there, Emmett has been brutally picking people apart left and right, and he's telling people no one's gonna survive, no one's gonna make it through the night, not even me. Everyone here is gonna die. He has an obsession with Mandy. He's in love with her. That's all he wants. He has a little notebook. He's depraved. He's crazy, but on the same time, you kind of fuck with him. Like, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I fucked with Emmett. And, even though he brutally kills everyone and he's obsessed with Mandy, you're like, I hope this guy gets better. But as he's chasing one of the final girls, Mandy's like, come here, come help me. Come here, I'll save you. And as the girl runs up to her, she pulls out a knife, kills the girl. Then you find out that Mandy and Emmett have been doing this the entire time. It was like a love-suicide type thing. And you're like, I didn't see it coming. Maybe a lot of people did. I genuinely did not. And then this is where the movie gets intense. He's like, we're going to die together. We're going to finally be together. And then she's like, no. He's like, what? Then she starts screaming for help. The ranch hand comes up, tries to intervene, and then shit unravels, and she ends up killing Emmett. And she ends up getting away with the ranch hand. And that, you're like, damn. This, to me, paints a picture. It's kind of like subverting expectations, and it like really built up that final girl mentality. You're like, oh, just another final girl that everyone's obsessed with. They're gonna focus on her. She might get away, but she was the mastermind all along. It was a little bit convoluted and conflicting to me why her and Emmett planned this, and why she decided to kind of cancel it last minute. In my mind, I'd like to believe that she was using Emmett as like an example, like, you're so mad at me that all these dudes are obsessed with me, but you're literally wrapped around my finger. You're my puppet. You're doing all the same shit, and that's pathetic. I think Mandy just wanted to be respected and cared for. And then when the ranch hand, even though he was an adult, came along, like, they're all like 18, but even though this like 30-year-old dude came around, he was being chill. And it's a pretty solid horror movie all around. The kills are pretty good. It had a nice twist to it. You know, it's not perfect, but I feel like it's the most underrated movie from 2006 when you have, you know, Final Destination 3, Chainsaw at the Beginning, and all these ones that are really, like, talked about all the time. I feel like this one isn't talked about enough. But alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, give me a thumber, hit that ding-a-ling button harassing you, telling you, hey, it's me, I'm here, and I'm going to say it one time for the one time and two time for the O's. Give me a hell yeah for horror.